You're listening to Parasearch Radio, news, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch Radio or their affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is your usual Thursday show. And this evening I am joined by my co-host, Carl, of course. Good evening, Carl.
Evening, Sam. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
All good, yeah. A bit cold still no heating, but it's not getting me down. I just look like I'm wrapping up to go to the Arctic at the moment. 2 hoodies, T-shirts, 3 pairs of socks, usual stuff.
Yeah, hopefully it'll get sorted soon for you. They'll probably be like, turn up and you're in New Orleans and you'll be like, that ain't happening.
This is what I don't understand. They book to say they're going to replace the boiler. They bring the boiler, but they don't bring the connections to the boiler to fit it. And then nobody's actually ordered them.
Usually the case, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the poor regional manager, he didn't like my phone call yesterday with him. I think he knows the score now, so but never mind. It's another day. Another day, another dawn.
Yeah. Going from the boiler talk.
Exactly. That's exciting talk for you viewers tonight. Let's talk about boilers.
So this evening we had these guys on, was it sometimes last year? I was going to look when we had them last on, but I forgot because I've been at work. And we are joined this evening by Alex and Corinne from Lecor Paranormal. Good evening, guys.
Evening.
I love how you both said that together.
Somebody sounds excited to be on.
Excited to join you two.
Yeah.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
I know. It's great.
So, what have you guys been up to then?
Oh, I'm trying to remember.
We did Ashwell Prison, didn't we?
Yes, we. Well, last time we spoke to you was probably June last year. We did quite a lot of investigating last year. Did Ashwell Prison a couple of times, Tutbury Castle, the Haunted Museum in Nottingham. The 3 of us were at this paranormal convention in November. Sage? Paracon?
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah. I remember seeing... I'm sure I saw Sam there. I think I even did the Ouija board with Sam.
Yeah, you did. And the automatic writing.
And then you got really confused because you thought Cole was still sitting at the desk and he'd gone outside.
Yep.
That was because I just remember walking in when that was happening, and your 2 faces were just like pointing at me walking through the door, but then pointing over to where I was sat and saying that you were just there. I said, no, I've been out the room for a good 5 minutes. So very, very strange, very strange. But obviously Sage Paracon tickets are still available. www.sageparacon.co.uk. Get in touch with MJ, she'll sort you out. Very few tickets are left.
And a really good lineup of speakers.
Yes, we will be coming on to that. We will be coming on to that. Yeah, no. Interesting, obviously, it's fans' favourite, because obviously this will be Paracon 5. I don't know. I've been there since day one, so yeah, I lose track of where it is, what we're doing. I just get told what I'm doing, so that's always good. But yeah, we've got fans' favourites and some amazing speakers, but we'll come on to that in a little while.
But also the other thing we've been up to, like outside of Lecor, is helping the lovely MJ doing her public stuff at Drake Clove over the last month. And you came down for one.
Yeah.
And we've been going out with other groups as well. So with Lecor, we did, when we went to Ashwell Prison, we met up with Ouija Brothers.
Yeah.
And they came and investigated with us for the night. And we've met up with a few others.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like investigating with new groups.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you kind of, when you see people investigate for the first time, it's a bit of a learning curve, because there might be something, even just the smallest thing, that you can take away and bring into your own investigation. So I love doing it and seeing what people do, and I think it's good to get out into the community and see other teams, see what's going on. So yeah, and I've heard good things about the Ouija Brothers. So I've not actually been on one of their events yet, but yeah, I've heard good stuff. So Ashwell,
yeah,
I believe I did Ashwell probably 2.5 years ago. Because it's the airsoft place, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the former prison and now airsoft.
Yeah. And did you get much on when you were there? The couple of nights you went?
So the first night we went there ever was I kind of caught this bit like, it sounded a bit like a burpy voice. That's the only way I can explain it. But I actually heard it in real time, and it's not very often that happens. It's normally like it's a really quiet night, and then I'll catch something either by like EVP or on the camera. So yeah, that was a bit strange. But the place itself, it's a little bit like worn down. So like there's boarded up windows, and they're not boarded up properly. So there's a lot of banging, especially if it's windy or anything like that. You can hear a lot of what's going on outside. So it's just something to be wary of if you go into Ashwell. But otherwise, it's awesome. I've got a weird thing about prisons. I love prisons. So
Yeah.
for me, it was yay. I loved it.
Well, our video for our return to Ashwell with the Ouija Brothers comes out on Friday on our YouTube channel. There is one bit, I don't think it's actually shown during the video. We did lone vigils. So there's 3 blocks, and we went into individual blocks, and we took one each. And the block I had twists you round like anything, because it's set out for airsoft. So all I did was move from one window pane to another, but it took about 2 minutes to walk there.
Is that the bit that's like a maze?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did 20 minutes in there on my own, freaked myself out. Apparently, it's the most hilarious footage possible. Nothing paranormal, just me just freaking out and then walking outside. And because it was windy and then bangs outside, it was like just put me on edge.
Yeah, I'd get a little bit freaked out in a maze as well.
Yeah.
In that situation, it's just it's a maze.
Is that the block that has all the cars in the car park as you walk up? Like you come into, like you go into like through the like metal gates, and then
and it's
there's a bit
right
out front, and it's
you.
like yeah. I know the one it is. That's the one where basically you got it, like you said, it's a maze, and you cut because they've like set it up for airsoft, and it's just horrible.
It's interesting.
It was like I just stood looking at this corridor, just convinced something was going to come running down that corridor at me.
It's your imagination, isn't it? Though, like when you're on your own in a place like an entire prison wing, I guess it does sort of make your imagination run a bit wild. It's kind of controlling that, and I find a really good way of controlling that is just looking and talking to the camera. So like looking in the camera screen and doing it that way, then you kind of feel like you're not alone. Anyway.
Yeah, me and Sam were discussing that very, very subject on last Thursday when we were talking about equipment, and we were talking about sometimes people use the camera screen as a bit of a avoidance of where they actually are in the investigation.
Yeah.
Because you're focusing on that little LCD screen or whatever type of camera it is. And it kind of is some people's little bit of a crutch on investigations, because that calms them down, like Kareem was just saying. Cool. So you've done you've done that. Obviously working with the Ouija brothers. And last time we spoke, we were talking about the evidence you captured at 30 East Drive with the door and the shadow appearing. Looks like it's looking through the gap in the door.
Yes, I still love that footage. Still can't explain
Still
it.
confuses me.
Yeah, I saw it again a couple of nights ago when you guys were on another radio show, and I was watching that, and it literally, because of the camera angles, you can see obviously who's in front of the door, you can see the gap, you can see the door has opened, and you can literally, because of the camera angle, you can see it's not like it's the movement of the camera. There was something always in the room, and you've just moved it, and it's come into shot. It's the same angle, and you can see this blackness move into shot, then move out of shot.
I mean, if it was the camera angle, then the only obstruction would be the unit that was on the left-hand side, isn't it? But this thing came in from the right-hand side, and there was nothing there to come in from the right-hand side apart from the dolls and stuff that were on the floor.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because the window's even on the left, so if it was like, say, the curtain being blown by the window, if the window was open, that would go left to right, not right to left.
Yeah. It's this very distinctive something coming in shot and leaving shot. So, and I think it's a great catch. And anybody that hasn't seen it that's listening tonight, go over to their website and have a look at it. Go on their YouTube and have a look at it, because I think personally it's probably one of the best captures I've seen in a long, long time.
I literally can't explain it.
We talked after you'd done the show on Monday. And we were like, what would have happened if we'd actually opened that door?
Yeah, what could we have opened?
And it was like, well, either the door was going to go through that, or if there was going to be some resistance.
I don't know.
If there was something solid behind that door that made that shape, and you tried to open that door, it was like, we just sat there like, trying to work out what would happen if we'd opened the door.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if it was solid, you literally the door, you'd have issues opening the door initially.
I mean, part of me wants to go back in the room and check that there's no holes in the walls from the next door.
Well, yeah,
not to be suspicious, but I'm just like, I just want to tick all the boxes just to make sure there is nothing.
You laugh about that, but I've heard conspiracy theories of 30 East Drive that it's rigged. The next door neighbour does like everything like this and that, and
like we would have heard her come in.
I know, but you see it all the time. People talk about it because of the activity, because of the strange EMF fields that you get in the upstairs rooms that seem to be at a certain height in every single room. People are saying because there's this whole thing that a couple of years ago they had some work done in the place.
Yeah.
And it was boarded all up, and then all of a sudden it was sort of back on like the market and everything like that. Everybody was going in and this, that and the other. And there's a lot of people thinking that those people, the workmen, were coming in to actually put in these things into the place. I can't see it myself, but there are a lot of coincidences about certain stuff. And people who like do EMF sweeps, and you get the exactly spot in a straight line on some of the walls, like hot spots, and it's very, very strange. But yeah, you're right. If you had seen that there and then live while watching it, what would have you done? Because knowing you guys, you would have literally opened that door straight away as soon as you saw it.
I mean, I wish we weren't on a Facebook Live at the time, because we just did that every day, just people know what we were doing really and getting involved a bit. So when we did the proper investigation where we wasn't live and we had our face cams and lock-offs, I wish that would have happened then, because obviously we would have had a lock-off in that room at the time. But we were experimenting with the door, so...
Never happens like that, does it?
No, of course not. It's always when you least expect it. Maybe we're not meant to know. Maybe we're not meant to know what happened.
Yeah. A lot of people say that you capture that stuff as soon as you turn off the cameras, because Maybe they're camera shy. Maybe they're not. Maybe they don't want to be seen, or maybe, like you say, you're not supposed to know until it's your time to know.
I was listening to a podcast the other week. I can't remember where it was in America they were interviewing the guy, and he was had strange things going on in his house, and he kept reading like motion sensors and all the rest, and like having to change bedrooms every couple of days because whatever it was in his house was working out where the cameras were so it could hide, then working out they'd moved bedrooms so it would follow them into the next bedroom, and that. And it is kind of at times it's like, we're not going to do anything because you're asking us. The minute you put those cameras down, you're not looking for us, you're having a cup of tea in the chat, we're going to start playing with you.
Mm. Yep, I agree. Yeah, I think there's a lot of it about that they're hiding away and, like you say, doing all sorts of things like that. So maybe we're not supposed to know.
I know for myself, for myself, if I become a spirit in years and years' time, I would be one of those that'd be like, I'm just going to stand here till you're not noticing and then start playing with you.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'd have so much fun. Honestly, I would have so much fun. I wouldn't think, right, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to go into, I'm not going to do the whole, typical, I'd scare people in the street or all that sort of stuff. I wouldn't just think, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to do the normal hauntings. I'm going to go proper out on it and really mess with people's noggins.
I think Alex would be a poltergeist when he wanted to be.
I'll
not sure
move
about
stuff
you,
around as well. Move those car keys so that they're the other side of the room.
Yeah, I think make little people. Obviously, they say things disappear and they reappear, or they appear in different rooms. I think I'd mess about and like make little sculptures out of stuff that I've pinched. Like you go to when you go to fancy hotels, you walk in and there's a different towel animal on your bed.
Yeah,
I'd do that with stuff that I've pinched during the day.
Well, you say about pinching stuff. Something did happen to us last year. We went to an investigation in Wales, and when we got home, Corinne realised one of the rings that she wears religiously on her fingers, which was your grandmother's, wasn't it? Yeah. Had disappeared. It wasn't in the usual places where she put her rings. We couldn't find it anywhere in the house, and we checked the whole car.
It's like a 3-month panic. Sorry, Mum, if you listen, by the way.
we didn't say anything to anyone.
No, yeah, I couldn't.
About
too
it.
Bad.
We stayed in an Airbnb that night. I'd messaged the Airbnb saying, did we leave any rings there? They never replied. And it was December. We were packing the car to go to Draco, and it was just lying there. I just moved a coat that was on the back seat, and I'd cleared that boot out about 6-7 times in that whole period, and it was just lying there on top of the mat in the boot.
The weird thing was, I went to see Janet O'Carroll, bless her, a few weeks beforehand, and had a reading with her, which was amazing. And she said, have you got any other questions for me? I was like, yeah, where's the ring? Because I need it back, like now, I'm panicking. And she said, see it under a big pile of clothes. And on like a second occasion, we were on an investigation, weren't we?
Mm.
And we were on the board, we were doing Ouija board, weren't we? And one of my, it wasn't a relative, I can't remember who it was, but they wanted to speak to me, and they said, any questions you've got? And I was like, yeah, okay, where's the ring? And it spelt mat. And the ring was actually under a mat in the car.
Well,
under
on
a load
top
of
of the mat.
clothes. Yeah, sorry, on top of the mat in the car under a load of clothes. So it was really strange. It just, a whole series of events just took me to that. They were both right. Yeah.
Yeah,
things like that happen all the time. It's like,
Yeah, I had that happen a few months back as well. I had a amethyst necklace what I wore in Vegas, and Luke searched everywhere for it, and I was like, oh, that's it, I've left it in Vegas. And then a few months later it turned up, so out of the blue.
yeah, in a random place that you never thought that you'd put
But it was a place I'd already looked, and I was like, when you feel like you're going a bit crazy.
Yes, regularly feel that.
So we're going back to the East Drive a minute. Obviously talking about the door incident. Have you guys been back since and tried to recreate that, or are you going back?
We haven't been back. We've talked to like the Ouija brothers because they've been up there quite a few times about doing like a collaboration up at First East Drive. We've talked about if we go back. So I think it's on the cards that we will be going back at some point. But the first time we went was 2016. It was then a 2-year gap before we went back again. So
what we did,
that means 2 years is this year. So it'll be most probably some point this year.
So we kind of acted just like we lived there. You know what I mean? Like when we go up there. So we stayed for 5 nights, didn't we? So we just sort of acted like we lived there. So like just act like normal, and then do the odd bit of investigation and act like normal again. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, and the first time we went up, we tried with very bad acting skills. It been one of our first ever videos type thing. If you ever watch it,
we did
tried to pretend we were moving in.
Yeah.
So just to see if it stirred anything up, because everyone goes into investigations with trying to find what there is, rather than we just thought, rather than do that, do something different. Try and pretend you're going in and see if you can like stir something up, because you're changing it. You're talking about maybe changing the wallpaper and doing things like that. The spirits might pick up on and might interact like they don't like it, or maybe they turn around and actually do like a fresh coat of paint or something.
That's a very interesting way to look at it. Would you agree, Carl?
Yeah, it's. I think it's kind of like a bit like the Singapore experiment, where you're trying to react to whatever the environment is of a set period. So if you are then putting on an act where you are pretending to move in to see whether the spirits are reacting to that, I think that's a good idea. Yeah. So when you, like you say, you were up at East Drive for 5 days, did you say?
5 nights, yeah.
And obviously, I think I've been to East Drive twice, and I'll obviously, as most things happen, you can't guarantee you're going to get anything. And the 2 nights I were there, we didn't really experience anything, just funny environmental changes, but nothing else. We didn't have any activity whatsoever. From obviously, you said about you moving in and pretending to move in and talking about this, that, and the other. Did you get anything that was not captured on camera? Anything else experience-wise happen when, like you said, like you were going through your day-to-day life? Anything weird happen? Like you can hear people wandering around upstairs or anything like that?
Yeah, actually. It was on the final day. We were just doing like a bit more B-roll, just so we had more content for video. And there's these keys that are hanging up, and they moved. They seemed to move on their own. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Were you there? Or was it just me and Lee?
No, you and Lee were in the kitchen doing it. I was actually hiding in the rooms upstairs playing on the Switch.
Sod's Law, it would be when we've turned the camera off to put it somewhere else to to get the next set of B-roll. And in between that time, the keys seem to like jingle because they're big, aren't they? The big chunky keys. It was like jingling. I was like, keys are moving. What? Okay. So we turned back on and went, the keys have just moved. And it's nothing though because you don't have the actual thing happening on camera. So
I remember you, because I heard like you two talking. I came down to find out what was going on, and it was like you and Lee were going to each other. You moved the keys, didn't you? No. You did it. No. You were both questioning each other whether either of you actually touched those keys.
Yeah, we were. I swore blind it was the other one of us.
but yeah, it's quite strange because I've been on quite a few investigations where as soon as you either stop investigating or you're taking a break or anything like that, something always happens.
Yeah.
Whether you hear a noise, whether you hear this, that, and the other, or it's just crazy. So it goes back to what we were discussing a moment ago. Are they not wanting to be on camera? Are they not wanting you to hear them? But then again, you've got such things as EVPs where they're communicating and we can't hear them communicating, but we're picking them up as well. I don't know. Every single investigation I go on, I come out with more questions than I've got answers to.
I do. I always think, or maybe I will never really have the answer, but I kind of like the journey of it anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I really like it. It's I like the fact it's ongoing research. It's a complete geek now, but yeah, I just there's more questions and more things to look at. It's never resolved. I quite like that about it.
No, I must admit, you do. Sometimes you do end up going down various different rabbit holes and end up getting really lost in certain things sometimes in this field, which I think that's what makes the field, I think, so interesting. And like you say, but working with other people, and we've got some people in the chat room, which Sam's just going to give some shout outs in a second. But it just fascinates me, the whole industry and what goes on and how, like
scientific theories, religious theories, energy theories. There's so many.
Oh yeah, it's the one theory which always gets me thinking even more is: are we the actual spirits and they're the actual living?
Yes. Or is there a parallel universe?
Yeah.
Feeding into each other.
Again, this is something that's come up in conversation quite recently. Is like we're there looking for the spirits of the past, but why are we not guessing, in the sense, the spirits of the future are asking for us to react and stuff?
We might be.
Or is their technology in the completely different frequency?
Right now.
Yeah. Sitting on cold shoulder.
Oh my gosh. This is a whole new show, I think.
Can I ask a quick question? Because obviously I'm on Skype, I can see you guys.
Yeah.
The door behind you
is
slightly ajar. There's a gap in where the wall is. You can see there's a gap.
I pushed the door.
What's the other side of it?
Kitchen.
Is there anything? Have you got like a PC on or anything like that?
Not in there. We've got a laptop pointing towards it.
Where your head is, the level of where your speakers are.
Yeah.
Okay. If there's the gap between the door, you can see some very bright light.
Okay, so the light's on in the kitchen.
Yeah. Something just walked past it.
Oh.
And I'm being deadly serious. I am being
I will say there is a cat in there.
That's what I was going to say. Is there like a worktop sort of kind of level with Corinne's head?
Can you just have a look and see if Zebby's on the cooker? Because that will explain everything.
Yeah. Because
I know she's been meowing at the back door.
Is it the back door?
Do you want to let her out?
Yeah.
For that? Can't you say that? Okay. So we moved into this house.
Oh, did it do it like this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you? If you go back to that point where you were a second ago.
Hang on.
Sorry, I couldn't hear any of that.
If you go back to where you were a second ago, literally your head height. There's you'll be able to see it when you rape. There's a white in the gap of. I'm sorry, this is great radio. Sorry, but I do apologise.
Use your imagination, guys.
that just because it literally walked the same way that you walked.
To the same height.
No, because it was shorter. And I would say that's what I was saying about your head height, because what you can see in the gap. Sam, can you see it? Okay.
No.
If Corinne, if you move your head back towards the brown there, you see above Corinne's shoulder, in the gap of the doorway, you can see there's like a white area in the gap.
Oh no, wait.
You've just covered it up now. No, the other side. Your other side.
The actual gap of the door.
In the gap of the door.
Yeah, there's a little line gap.
That's the height it was. That got blocked out. And I honestly thought, when I first saw it, I honestly thought a worktop and a cat walking across it.
So, it's funny you say this, Carl.
Sorry about this, viewers, listeners, but I just had to say that because that's quite weird.
So,
the cat was.
We've been in this house 18 months, and talking of, say, spirit cats, is kind of getting regular.
Okay.
So, must have been Christmas, I went to get my beard trimmed and my head shaved down a local barber's. I'm just sitting there, and all I see is the shadow of a black tail and the back of a cat just rub up against my legs.
Mm.
I'm just like, okay, I've seen you sitting on the microwave and stuff over time. I just put it as corner of the eye, and I'm just used to having a cat somewhere in the house. And then the girl that does my beard and hair turned around and went, "Oh, I'm picking up a cat tonight for my son." I'm like, "It's not the one walking around." "No, we haven't got one in here." "Okay, what do you mean?" "Nothing."
Do you know what the weird thing is, though? When I was having a really bad day the other day and I was in the kitchen, and we don't like to let the cats in the utility room because they break into the pet food cupboard and eat the food and get fat and make a mess. So the door was open to the utility, and I saw what I thought was Debbie go into the utility room. So I walked back round to the utility room, and there was no cat in there. Debbie was asleep on the sofa. This isn't the first time things like that have happened in this house. It's like, it's very bizarre. I was like, I looked at Alex, I was like, please tell me there was a cat just there.
But we also had something in our old house. We were watching telly, and one of the lamps that was on the side, and there was a lid, so it couldn't fall off. It just went flying off the side.
Like flying as in...
And it was the scenario of as if a cat had just jumped on the side and pushed it off, as you would see in films and cartoons and stuff. And of course, our automatic reaction was, it's one of our two cats. But of course, they were curled up asleep on our laps and stuff.
Yeah, we looked down and we were like, that wasn't a cat. What the hell was that?
I'd love to get proof on that, but we kind of see shadow cats and have like feelings of things rubbing against our legs around this house, and it's almost like we've got a cat that follows us.
Mm. Yeah, because initially when I initially saw it, I honestly thought, because I know you've got cats, I honestly thought there's a worktop right exactly where that white light is, and it went straight across. But then I'm thinking, and then I thought it might have been a laptop, and it was just obviously the screen flickering. But yeah, very, very strange. Sorry about that, everybody, but I did have to point that out.
Paranormal experience on your show.
Exactly.
What can you ask for?
Exactly. Yeah. Shame we're not recording it.
We wouldn't be.
But yeah. Sam, just over to you. Just to obviously what's going on in the chat room, etc., etc.
Not much, really. They're just chatting amongst themselves. Kerry's in there. Wes Coleman's in there. Obviously, Alex is in there. Richard's in there. But yeah, they're just chatting amongst themselves at the minute.
Okay, cool. Well, if anybody that's listening doesn't have any questions for Alex and Corinne, do drop it into the chat room. Get involved. As we always say, it's your show. It's your interaction that makes our shows. So do let us know if there's anything you want to ask the guys. Yeah, just get involved. Or if you're not actually can't get access to the chat room, drop us a message on social media, and we'll ask the guys in the remaining of the show. So, we've spoken about your investigations in the past. We've spoken about Ashwell. We've spoken about 30 East Drive. I probably know this answer, but I'm going to answer it for anybody that's listening. What other locations would you say are your favourite place to investigate?
Draco.
Yeah, I love the Scary Den and I love Draco.
Yeah. The reasons behind that?
Scary Den, we've got some amazing EVPs there. Me and Lee go back quite a lot, don't we?
Jeff singing.
Jeff, yeah. Gosh. The owners, Jeff, can't remember his name. They're both really, really nice, really welcoming. It's very reasonably priced as well. It's just a really, really lovely place. Very different at night, obviously. Some days it's very quiet there. But some days it's not, so it's definitely the luck of the draw when you go there. But the place itself is just incredible. The beds are so comfortable.
Yeah, and great breakfast as well in the morning.
Oh yes, yes. Yeah, very, very, very nice people.
Yeah.
So,
Was it? Yeah. You went this year with Lee, or last year with Lee, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you were sat upstairs waiting, doing like a little live, waiting for everyone to leave. Yeah. What you didn't realise was everyone had gone. So it was just you two in the place. You were like...
Yeah, waiting for the punters to leave and everyone was gone and we were there still waiting for everyone to leave and they didn't tell us. But no, it's really, really nice place.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yes. Yeah, I must admit that even the outside at the back, heading down towards the little the well at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's... Just obviously, the times I've investigated there, the weather hasn't been that impressive to be actually doing that. I'd love to do a nighttime wander down in relatively nice weather, because that down there, and obviously walking along to the graveyard as well.
Yeah.
Interesting. And obviously, the pub itself has a well in the middle of it anyway.
Yeah.
Just at the bottom of the stairs, so there's a lot of water flowing around. Very interesting. And Alex, you mentioned Draco.
Yes.
What's the reasons behind Draco for you?
I think we've been there a few times. Like Corinne and I have been there a few times in the last couple of months, and every time you go, there's different like layers in there. Each of the junctions, there's something. The atmosphere changes. And that we've gone with MJ and, of course, Sage Paranormal, and had all the other public guests coming along. And each time we go, there's validation of something that's been picked up previously.
Yeah.
But also something new as well. So it's not always the same thing. You were with us, I think, when we were in the hospital, and there seemed to be like the nurse that people were picking up on that didn't want us in there. But then we went back and she was interactive with the REM pod and stuff. So it's an interesting venue, and
I like it because it's more controlled as well. So, like, you're very, very unlikely to get any sort of, like, radio signal or anything like that down there. So, like, outside interference or anything, I don't know, like electromagnetic or anything, shouldn't really be there.
Using the spirit box.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
A classic example. You shouldn't get radio frequencies down there.
Yeah.
Nope.
Which means
it's
if you're going to start getting stuff, you can lean towards more like the paranormal side of a reaction than H101 or something, because you know there shouldn't be that radio frequency there.
Yeah, especially if you've got a detuned SP or spirit box, like a detune. So even though that, or using a Faraday bag, which cuts out radio, if you're getting anything then, and you know there's like so much concrete and earth above you that you don't get any signal. It's like as soon as I get into the village or the area of it, I lose phone signal anyway.
Yeah.
I think the only person that ever gets phone signal is MJ on her phone.
That's like outside, isn't it? That's not inside.
You don't get anything inside. I think the closest you might get a bit of phone signal is literally by the door leading outside. So if you're, like you say, like Alex says, if you're getting something that's the typical what we would describe in any other investigation where you've got phone signal, radio signal, is radio bleed, but you can discount that, you're left with one only other conclusion, which is paranormal. We're not saying it's spirit, we're just saying it's paranormal. It's unexplained.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing. And Draco, I like Draco because I describe it as an onion. You peel back the levels. Sometimes it makes you cry. Sometimes you're just thinking about the tasty bit that you're going to find. And last time we were there, obviously, when you just mentioned it, the strange noises coming from behind us, where the little window is.
Yeah.
And it was just. It was constant, and it was on response. We were asking the questions, and it was happening on. You'd ask it to happen, and it would happen. It wasn't like just sort of a random noise that happened every so often. You were asking for it, and it was coming back and doing it.
Very good. Looking forward to going back in a few more hours. Linking you back, literally. Yeah, so.
Not looking forward to the drive, but I'm looking forward to being up there later on tomorrow. So what else have you got coming up for in the next couple of months?
From the Lecor point of view, we've got, like I said, we've got Ashwell Prison coming out this week, tomorrow even. And then once we finish that series, we've got the review video in 2 weeks. We'll then head into our Tutbury investigation that we did at the end of last year.
Sure.
At the moment, we haven't, because we've all been busy with work and projects and stuff, we haven't actually planned anything yet really for this year. But I'm sure that will change like overnight.
In the next few weeks, yeah, we'll have stuff
thing.
planned and more investigations coming up, definitely.
Yeah. For both Corin and I, we're off to New Orleans next week.
Next Friday, you fly out?
Yes.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks. Have a little paranormal tour around there. With some very good friends.
Yeah, I land at 4:45 on the Saturday, local time. So as soon as I get to the hotel and get my stuff sorted away, I'll give you a shout and we'll meet up. Looking forward to that.
I just want to get that whole bit over with.
It'll be fine. Just get a couple of drinks down your neck. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
you'll be fine. It's one. I don't like takeoff and landing. I'm the most nervous person in takeoff and landing, and I've said this so many times. I've actually one flight, the stewardess actually sat next to me and held my hand on takeoff because I was and she could see I was that nervous. And I've flown a hell of a lot. So yeah, honestly, the flight's fine. The airport. The way the modern airports now are designed, it's a less stressful way of getting your way through, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Once you're out there, you'll love it, and once you've done it, you want to do it more and more and more.
Because we're flying out of Heathrow. Normally, we fly out of like Birmingham when we go away, and when the plane takes off from Birmingham, it does a hard left-hand turn, and it's almost turning the plane 90 degrees. And even for me, and I've flown for years, I'm like, I really don't like this. I keep imagining they're going to try and barrel roll the planes. So hopefully that coming out of Heathrow this time, it won't be that bad.
It's a very smooth bank usually at Heathrow. What time of day are you flying?
Lunchtime, so I think it's about 1 o'clock off.
Okay, by that time you'll be taking off, and no, you probably won't have to bank. You'll just go up north, follow the country up, and then Scotland, Newfoundland, and down.
Yeah,
because they land. Normally they land from over the M25 in the mornings. That's when the morning flights come in. So
someone travels a lot, don't they?
I was bad about trains.
Yeah. I just love airports. I'm sorry, I just get so excited to be at an airport. I don't know what it is. I don't like travelling. I know that sounds very strange, but I don't like the whole.
Are you like a kid in a candy store the minute you get in there?
Once I've had my start of the drive up there. Once I get dropped off and once I get through customs into the departure area and I'm in the lounge, I've got that my starting the trip off, the Bloody Mary. That's when I'm then get into relaxed mode and I get excited. And then on the plane, all right, I'll just normally sleep and then watch a video and have something to eat. And then it's the hassle of going through customs, but that's normal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just love airports. I just find planes fascinating.
Just remember when you go through this time, don't say you've been to China.
No.
Or you've had a corona.
No. I'm not going to do that. Last time, I've had my run-ins with TCS in the States. So I'm not. I'm just going to be a good little boy. Not say what I'm doing. Just say I'm there on holiday. Not confuse them, and hopefully this time I'll keep my trousers on. But yeah. So we obviously got that coming up. Anything else you got planned for the rest? I know Corinne's going to be busy.
You've got, because you're doing more on the paranormal photographer side as well, which is your own little venture.
Yeah, so I've got a few talks coming up. So I'm doing a talk for the Birmingham UFO group. I think that's the 23rd of April, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, is that right?
Yes.
Awesome. Oh, goodness. So I've got that. So I'm going to do a little talk about paranormal and photography and a few other bits there. I've got another potential one coming up in July, but it's not confirmed yet. And of course, I've got Sage Paracon as well.
Where you're one of the speakers.
Yes, oh my God. Yeah. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it.
Cool. And obviously, Alex, you'll be helping me doing what we did last year with the setups.
You mean running around trying to find cables?
You both make a good team.
Well, no, because I've learnt over the years when I've done this. So whatever cables we needed last year, I've now got because I've come back and ordered them. So unless there's something else that happens in between now and then, and they change their setup, I'm not promising anything. But I think I have every possible connection.
I remember your face Saturday morning when you were just looking at every single cable you had, every single adapter, and you just went, I can't fit anything into the projector.
Yep.
And I just walked up and went, I've got a laptop that fits that.
I could have kissed you. I honestly could have kissed you because I was like, I'd gone out, I'd made sure from the previous year I've got the right type of laptop for the Americans. Because most of them like to be on an Apple. I had my backup of anybody that wanted to do a normal PC. I had all the cables, I had everything, and then the connection on my Apple didn't take any of the cables. And then I'm like, and then luckily you were setting up for the cameras, and you went, well, I've got one that will work, and it plugged straight in, and it worked. And I was so thankful because 20 minutes before the first speaker, we didn't have a setup for a presentation.
When Greg turned off halfway through the talk, turned my laptop off.
Yes.
I was like, you made me
Greg
do
and
that.
Dana turned your Mac off
Yeah.
halfway through.
You broke my back.
I saw your face drop.
I was like,
Yeah. It was good fun, and
And of course, we had the speaker as well, which decided to give you electric shocks.
yeah.
Oh my gosh,
I,
yes.
I didn't have any feeling in my hand for a good 4 hours afterwards. And everybody thought that was hilariously funny that I could have been electrocuted, but at least I made people laugh, and that's all that matters. But yeah, no. So you're going to be one of the speakers, as we were saying earlier. It's Sage Paracom 5. You're one of the headline speakers, talking about photography in the paranormal.
Yeah. So they cover a little bit of history as well, a little bit of tech, a little bit about frequencies, the cameras I like to use, and any photos really.
Okay, cool.
There you guys.
Have you worked out your unusual facts about yourself for the Q&A session yet?
Oh, I've got a couple. Am I allowed to say, or will it ruin it?
No, don't ruin it. But yeah, so anybody that's interested in obviously attending to see Corinne and attend, tickets are still available. Very few tickets are still available. So
everyone's going to be Googling you to try and find all this out.
They'll never know.
Because it's like some of the ones last year, like Karen and her belly dancing and Claire cleaning the toilets. It was a really good icebreaker.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. The way it's the setup and getting it gets to everybody initially, gets a little bit more information about the speakers. So we're going to learn more about obviously Corinne. So that's going to be great. What else have you got? Anything else planned for coming up? Obviously, there was an announcement recently. You joined part of Sage Paracom
Yes.
Paranormal Investigation Team.
Yes, with you.
Yeah.
You can't get out of this during us.
No, you can't get out of it.
As I was saying just before it came on air, I knew it was going to get mentioned at some point. I just didn't know when.
Yeah.
And I was sat there and my phone started to explode, like bleeping. I was thinking, what's going on at 10:30 at night? And then obviously I then found out, because normally when that happens, it's usually my American friends taking the mickey out of me, calling me a historian and stuff like that.
So it's not just the Americans that do that.
No. There's quite a few people that take the mickey, calling me a hysterian. Oh, hysterian? Hysterian. God, and I've not even been drinking. But yeah, no, it's good fun. So yeah, very, very interesting. Over to Sam. Have you got anything you want to ask? As we've got only 10 minutes left.
Nope.
Okay, thanks for that. That's very helpful. I love these shows when I can just like. So, I'm trying to think now. Obviously, you've got the investigation at Drakelow tomorrow. You've got New Orleans.
Yeah.
You've got Sage. Yeah. Anything that you want to do? That you want to still plan?
If I can get it organised, I'd love to go back to Tutbury.
Yeah, I've never done Tutbury.
It was my kind of stomping ground when I first started doing investigations there in Derby Jail.
Mm.
So going back last year was kind of all the memories came flooding back.
Mm.
And
that's Leslie.
That's flat night though.
That's Leslie. Is it Leslie Smith?
Yes.
Is it? Yeah, that's Leslie Smith, isn't it?
She's the curator, but it's another paranormal team that actually run the nights.
Oh, okay.
A really nice bunch. Really nice bunch. people, and it is an amazing location. It's just we got the quiet night, didn't we?
Yeah,
So,
because even they said they were surprised how flat it was when we were there.
Okay. Right. So we've got 5 minutes. So we just quickly check the old chat room, see if there's anything going on in there. That's gone pretty quiet. They've obviously just dropped off or fallen asleep. So how can people find you guys? Social media, Instagram, YouTube, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, just search for Lecor Paranormal, and you'll find us on Facebook and YouTube, Twitter.
Yeah, even though we don't use it that much.
No.
The main thing to subscribe to is YouTube, Lecor Paranormal, Lecor. Paranormal.
Cool. And
videos will be, there's a nice big back catalogue if you've not watched any yet.
What would be really helpful if people could watch our videos and just post your thoughts about them. So the reason we upload our videos to YouTube is not to sort of make a show per se, but it's more to get everybody else's thoughts on it as well. The door, for example, we actually didn't notice that we'd caught that. It was somebody else that noticed it on YouTube. So that's the reason we upload stuff, just to get everybody else's opinion as well. So get involved, yeah. It's out there to be shared, and let's go.
Okay. No, that's because I think that's really, really interesting. It's to be able to put yourself out there to ask opinions on what do people think of that. Yes, there's obviously the paranormal drama in the field, and I'd stay as far away from that as possible. But when you're building up and building like people to watch it, it's nice to see what people actually think, whether they thought it's this way. And like you say, it wasn't yourselves that actually noticed that on your video. Somebody else that noticed it.
Yeah, because I still remember the comment that I read, and it was literally either you're very good at faking stuff, or you've caught a shadow person and gave us the timestamp. I was like, what are you talking about? And looked at it, and it was like, whoa.
No, like, okay then. Yeah, so I mean, if we'd noticed it, there would have been a review on it, or would have because Lee does the edits, he's very good at his edits, and he would have put like a replay on there, and then.
So how long after you put it up did somebody notice it?
It probably was. So because it was the live feed that it was found on, the live feed went up straight away while we were there. So that was like September, and it was the end of January last year that they found it. So it's been up for probably 4 or 5 months. Just
goes to show, analyse your live footage. If you're doing a live, analyse it. It all counts.
Absolutely. And as you say, like, you're either the very good actors or whatever, but at the end of the day, if you've not got anything from it and it was faked, I'm not saying it was, I'm just saying if you had, why leave it 5 months before you reveal it? You would have done it straight afterwards.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's just amazing. And obviously if somebody captures it and you go back and then you go, hang on, that's really, really interesting, and it is. It's probably one of the best captures I've seen in a long, long time. So, right, that's. Sorry.
Yeah, it blew our minds a bit as well, didn't it?
Yeah, we've posted the links in the chat room. I think we posted them in the chat room. Yeah, I think we did. If not, we'll definitely post them on social media. That's coming up to the end of the show. Sam's just had to nip off, so I'm going to do the wrap up. So I do apologise if I get any of this information wrong. First of all, I'd just like to thank Alex and Corinne to coming on the show. It's always a pleasure chatting to you guys. So thanks again, and thanks for coming on, and I hope everybody's enjoyed it, and hope you guys have enjoyed it.
Thanks
for
having us.
He sends his apologies. He's very, very sick.
Yeah, get well.
Good.
Get well soon, Lee. And what we'll do, we'll get you on the show at some point as well. Once you're feeling better, we'll be in touch. Just drop us a message when you're feeling better, mate. So thanks again, you guys. Thanks to my co-host Sam. She's just had to nip off a second, so I'm doing the wrap up. We will be back next Thursday. I can't remember who we're interviewing because Sam does all that. I just turn up on the show and waffle. So yeah, we'll be back next Thursday. I will then be on a little break, as we were just saying. I'm going to be away for a couple of weeks in New Orleans, so Sam will be taking the reins on the shows. I might pop in on a couple of the shows just to say hello from New Orleans. Hurricane or hand grenade in hand, saying hello to everybody. So that's great. And if you want to get in touch with these guys, we're going to post the social media links as well. As always, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. As always, enjoy doing the show on a Thursday night. It's your show. Get involved. Get in the chat room. Send us messages. If there's anything you want us to discuss, is there anybody you want us to talk to? Let us know, because without your interaction, we don't really have a show. We want to bring the best content for you on Thursday night, and also with Parasearch Network every night from Tuesday to Friday, and some special shows on Saturday, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock on a Tuesday. We've got very, very interesting shows. I will be appearing and jumping on the Dark Mirror show tomorrow night from the lovely car park of Drakelow Tunnels. And on that note, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next week. Good night, and thank you very again.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.